All right, another coach's mind breakdown. This is a beginner level match, so you won't notice a lot of technical application of jiu-jitsu. But what I do want to cover is our approach to it strategically, tactically, and how I coached JP to be ready for this match. So he's in quite a unique situation, and he actually has pretty good takedowns from the feet, whizzer throws or harai goshis, and he's pretty good off of his back. He has a good arm drag and a pretty good guard from his back. So preparing him for this tournament, what we focused on was working in front of his strengths. So after his takedown, his top position is actually the weakest part of his game. And like I said, he's got a good guard. So I didn't want him pulling guard, but I wanted him focusing on his takedowns. So we spent most of the time preparing his top position, and that was coached around just maintaining top position, making sure that you stuff all sweep attempts and submission attempts, and then literally letting the pass present itself. And that's what we're going to see here. So let's get started. A little tying of the anklets here. And this was his first match in the bracket, but I think this opponent presented the most challenge, and it was actually a good morale booster as his opponent's strength was exactly what we were working on. His opponent has a very good close guard, and it became obvious that that's what he was looking for the entirety of the match. So if you watch, his opponent's looking for a triangle arm isolation on JP's right arm, then he switches to the left arm. So seeing this as I was coaching him there at the tournament, I uh, I recognized that he was highly focused on getting a triangle. Often in the white belt division, you'll find white belts, they're very, very rarely well-rounded, and what they'll do is they'll just specialize in one technique. They'll have success with it at the gym. It'll motivate them, and they'll continue working that, and they haven't had enough time to work other things. So you see him trying to set up an armbar and triangle. He's obviously spent a lot of time on close guard, but let's look back at JP here. He's just maintaining top position and he's stuffing all submission and sweep attempts. So the Kimura bump sweep attempt that was denied. Triangles have been denied, and here he is working a standing position. Um, Often beginner level it's taught to break the guard open from your knees, but the reality is to break the close guard, you almost always have to stand up, especially at the intermediate advanced level. So he's aware of this triangle setup here. This young man's going for, and he's just being patient. We do individual lessons multiple times a week, and most of the time was spent on being patient on top, maintaining top position, stuffing all offense, and waiting for the pass to present itself. If you guys are on top and you're working your guard passing, your job is to not only pass the guard, but you have to stay on top to pass the guard, but it's to stop your opponent from employing most of their offense. If you do this, generally opportunities to pass will arise. And here the young man opens his guard, and JP sees the opportunity, legs are open, and here he goes past. This is where he starts to shine. The top position that we were working with JP wasn't just in passing the guard, but it was maintaining top position. So we see him get an excellent cross face and underhook here, chest to chest. He's waiting to get a score, and then we're going to see him doing one of our main focuses on top position. This is a little key detail that we like to focus on at the academy. When passing the guard and when maintaining top position, if you focus solely on your opponent's bottom knee, you're going to stuff most of their recovery or retention uh, attempts. So, a little failed buggy choke there. That's kind of silly, a white belt trying to buggy choke. There should be a better use of training time. Anyways, here, if we look at this young man's bottom knee, so bottom knee would be considered, well, here he is turtling again. We'll wait till we get back to guard, but front headlock. And I'm yelling at JP here, pointing. I don't know why that habit started. I just started pointing when I was coaching. It's a weird tick that it started, but he brought his bottom knee in and recovered half guard. This guy, like I said, really wants to recover closed guard. That's where he feels at home, and it's obvious that's where he spent most of his time training. So this is let's stop right here. This is the bottom knee that we focus on. Man, there's too many lines here. This knee here. So his opponent's goal is to recover his knee line, knee to chin or knee to elbow, and he's going to get essentially closed guard again. So when you're passing the guard and your opponent's on their side, or you've already passed the guard, your focus should be on the bottom knee and not letting it be recovered. If you don't let the bottom knee recovered, outside of a couple novelty techniques like the buggy choke, you only really have to worry about getting rolled over. So it takes your mind into only having to focus on a couple things. So we'll continue here. JP working a pretty decent front headlock, and then the bottom knee line is recovered again. Now, secondary to stopping the bottom knee, or actually primary to that, you just want to focus on staying on top. So even if they recover your guard and stay on top, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to go for a reset here, and here we're going to see JP attempt some of his takedown work, and you're going to see his opponent try to get the game back to his strength. So tried a little wizard kick, and his opponent pulled guard right away. Another bottom knee battle from the half guard. JP's given up the underhook quite a bit in this tournament, which was a big failure in itself. At a higher level, but at a white belt level, he stayed on top, so I'm happy with that. A little front headlock action from the half guard. So one of the issues here on his opponent is he's got several things right with his bottom half. He's just not using it to wrestle up because he has no interest in being on top, and that's just part of being a beginner. You get good one thing and stick with it. So JP finally gets another pass here, and then we're going to see him patiently maintain top position. Gets them out, and time is going to run out here pretty soon. So one thing I wanted to point out from a coaching perspective is that when you have a strength, if your strength is guard, okay, you never want to build on that strength behind it. Let's look at a castle, for example. If you have a castle wall, protecting your land and in the center of your keep, you don't want to build another wall behind that. So if you've got a good guard, you don't want to just add on to the guard. If you've already got a decent guard relative to your opponent's skill level, you would want to put another wall up in front of that. So his top position, as we worked so much time on JP's top position here, that if anything were to go wrong, he'd get rolled over to his back, and that's where he's good at already. So I would encourage you guys to focus on building walls in front of what you're already good at, not building walls behind them. If you got any questions, let me know, and I'll see if I can help you out. Thanks for watching.